Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Talk PMA, where we focus on the 4 C's of mental toughness.
Confidence in yourself and your abilities.
Control in your actions, thoughts, and feelings.
Commitment to yourself, your team, and your sport.
And challenge, to accept all challenges as opportunities, not threats.
Perfect. Welcome back, Allie.
Welcome back!
It's been a crazy week.
It's been a really crazy week, honestly.
This last weekend was insane. And we had a huge yard sale and had thousands of dogs in my house and our house and lots of people. And it's been fun.
Look,
and
I just have a little pod. Sorry, I didn't know I could do that.
And now that we're together, it's a little more relaxed, I feel like.
Yeah.
What we're doing and trying to figure it out still.
Well, we're just still trying to figure out a routine. We don't have a routine. So trying to figure out consistency, which is what we're focusing on today. Consistency. It's fun to like become consistent. Like, I think a lot of times when it comes to consistency, you have to like find a way to, use that routine and make it fun at the same time, because you can't be consistent if, you're not enjoying what you're doing.
Well, and you learn to be like, as a parent, we always are taught, or I was taught, to be consistent with your kids. Always have a routine with them, be consistent with them, because it teaches them the value of just structure, right? And so to be consistent in anything that we do, it teaches us structure. So even with our working out that we're doing, I was thinking about it today. I'm like, if we don't do it, then we lose that structure. We lose that consistency of even wanting to go work out and making ourselves do it, to be consistent every day. When do we go work out? When do we, what are we doing? Making sure that we're just completing that task.
Yeah.
And being consistent in that.
Well, and I was kind of thinking about that too, because this last week was so hectic and kind of crazy. With me starting my new job and the yard sale and having people over and stuff. And so all week I was like, I want to go work out. Because you found the joy in something, and we were being pretty consistent, and we were holding ourselves accountable too. So, even if we, had to miss a day because life, we were always making up for it. The next day we were always making sure that we weren't missing a workout. We weren't missing the cardio or the stretching or whatever it was. We were always staying with it. And so this last week was kind of like, we're like off, and now what do we do? And so I was like, we're going to have to do a full body day because we missed all 3 of our workouts. And so I was like, it's going to be like a 2-hour workout and our whole bodies are going to hurt.
I feel like it wasn't terrible. It wasn't like we were just sitting around doing nothing, because we were still moving our bodies. We still were getting ready for the yard sale, carrying heavy things, moving, getting our steps in. So, the thought was still there. The moving our bodies was still there, just the fact that we just weren't going to the gym. But it was great because, like today you came up and you're like, okay, I don't feel good, or I'm tired. But do we still want to do it? And it was like, yeah, we have to get right back on the horse. We have to, let's just go back and do last week over again. And it was okay that we didn't beat ourselves up for not doing the exact routine that we were set.
Well, I think if we would have not done it for no reason kind of thing, I think a big reason was just because we had good excuses, if you want to, we had reasoning for why we couldn't, there just wasn't time in the day to do it, unless we were going to go at 4 a.m. or 10 p.m. So no, I can't do the mornings and she can't do the evenings, so it just doesn't work out. So I think that's why it was, easier to be like, oh, it's fine, we had good reason to not go. And like you're saying, obviously we were doing a lot. We probably sweat all the calories outside in the sun.
So, I mean, I think consistency just with anything that we do, especially when we set our goals and, staying committed to those goals, staying consistent and thinking about the goals. I think that's the biggest thing. You stay consistent thinking about them so they're always top of mind. So, even if you can't do it, you're still keeping yourself accountable to work on it and to, I have to go do that. If I can't do it today, then when am I going to do it tomorrow? So making that time the next day, if that's how it's going to have to be, or later that day, or just on your own, defining what that means for you. But being consistent trains your mind, trains your body to go after that, continue to go after that goal and to keep it going.
Well, and it's creating habits and stuff, and that's kind of why we were doing this workout challenge. It was a 21-day workout challenge, which is perfect because it takes 21 days to create a habit. And so that's why we're kind of doing that, and we missed our last week, but we weren't like, oh, we gotta start over now, or we're done, or whatever. So it's nice. It was good. And now we're just like, okay, are we gonna start a new challenge, a longer challenge? How are we going to want to do this? Do we want to create our own challenge now that we're kind of in the groove and know what we want and where we're at with our bodies and everything? And it's nice to see the improvements. And it's like today when we worked out, I did the highest weight I've done since we started, so like we're making progress. And, doing things for longer periods of time, or more reps, or, we're sweating more, we're, challenging ourselves more. You were doing some of the exercises that are a challenge for you, and it felt good to do it.
Yeah, I've kind of got to that point where when we first started, I was like, I can't do that. I can't get down on my knees. I can't do that. And I noticed myself today that I was like, nope, I'm just going to do it, even though it's going to hurt, it's going to be tough. That's the only way I'm going to get through this. I'm going to have to bear through it. And, I used to have that, just go till you can't. And no pain, no gain, right? And so now, I kind of let that go for a long, long time, and now I'm ready to be like, okay, no pain, no gain, Jessica. You have to get through this. You have to challenge yourself a little bit harder to get better. And I have bad knees, and they're not going to probably get completely better, but I can't do what I need to do until I make myself better. I can't have surgery until I make my body better. And so that's a good challenge for me, and it keeps me motivated, and it keeps me, okay, I really can do this, because every week, every day, I see something different that I can do that I couldn't do the day before.
Yeah. It's cool. And a big thing with consistency too is you start to learn yourself better and what you're doing, and then you can start to modify, okay, I started it this way. It worked for a while, but I think there's a different way that can make it better. And, that's kind of what we're doing. We're starting to add different things that are, going to help with your knees, or that are going to strengthen my shoulder, and making sure that we're going the extra mile for the stretching, for the cardio, for whatever it is. And now, now we can do our own challenge. Well, I just sold all of my clothes. I want to go shopping so bad. I downloaded so many apps for shopping, and I'm so ready to go shopping. And I have no clothes. With our yard sale, I sold like all of my clothes. I got rid of all of them.
I don't want to do it yet.
Well, good. It's just going to keep happening. You can't change it. But it feels good. And I think that's a big thing when you're starting to create those new habits and be consistent in different ways. It's, a lot of times you have little habits that you had before, or little things that don't make you feel good. And
it almost drives you in different areas of your life too. I can complete that goal. Maybe there's something else in my life that I can go after too, that I can complete. Like getting my office clean, or just being more organized in my life in general, is because I feel good inside, because I'm already have that mindset of, oh, if I'm consistently doing this and I'm consistently achieving goals, what can I do in some other area of my life that I can achieve another goal?
Well, and that's kind of like what I was telling you, how I got rid of all the clothes in my closet because they didn't make me feel good. They were just clothes that I've had since high school. A lot of them I've had since high school, or that same kind of style. And it's like, that's not me anymore. That's not what I want. And so, I've gone out of my way, and I'm, creating a Pinterest board that has my new clothing like I'm wanting to do. Like, I kind of know what my style is already. I want to start venturing out and doing a little bit different things. But, I didn't have the clothes that were even my style. So it's, it feels good now. I'm like, okay, I think this is where I want to be. I think this is what I want to wear. I think this is what's going to make me feel good, make me feel, like confident in myself and my body. If I'm wearing clothes that are too small, or I don't feel confident in, then that's not benefiting me at all. Especially when you're making progress, like you're making progress with your working out and losing weight or gaining muscle and everything. It's like you want to show it off. You want to feel confident in it.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of, us as humans. We want to feel good about ourselves. And if we're not doing the things in our life that are making us feel successful, then we're not putting ourselves out there to be better. And so I think it's really important for us to do things that make us feel good, like, even your clothes, or just, eating right, maybe just eating better,
washing your face more,
or just whatever it is, but just gives you that confidence in yourself that makes you feel good. So when you feel good, you look good and you feel good to others, because you are just portraying that. You're putting it out there for others too, and others see that.
And it even goes to, like, who you have involved in your life, too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you have negative people in your life that are tearing you down and not supporting you in any way, then you don't feel good about yourself. And I don't think that's why we're meant to be here. We're meant to be here to put out there a positive influence and to be successful. And if people aren't supporting you in that aspect, then they don't need to be in your life, period.
You've been talking about one of your friends who's been overworked for years and has had some recent events in her life that, are making her feel a little depressed and everything. And, she's not enjoying what she's doing anymore. And it's like, when was the last time she wanted to do something that was just, like her creativity? And it was like, oh, this would be so fun. And then just doing it. Not doing it for the paycheck, not doing it because you feel obligated, not doing it because it's a job, doing it just because it's going to make you happy. Like for me, just going and playing basketball, going to my new job and just going and shooting around for an hour. That makes me feel so good. Or like, I'm, pretty artistic, crafty kind of person like you. I haven't done any crafts or drawing or anything in at least 2 years. And not like I used to, at least. Maybe a little bit here and a little bit there, but not really anything out of my own creativity. And I've been like, okay, I want to start drawing again. I want to start doing these little things. I want to start trying to challenge myself to do it and, see what I can come up with. And, so it's, you got to do things that are going to make you happy. Yeah, you can be consistent, but I think consistency has to have a line, and you have to be able to go out of that habit too.
Well, you can define consistency in your own life in different ways. So it doesn't have to just be, okay, here's my goal, I have to be consistent. Yes, you want to do that. But at the same time, be consistent in making yourself happy. Be consistent in what brings joy to me. So if it's drawing, if it's, running, if it's whatever that joy is, be consistent in making yourself feel that way. But if you're consistent in overworking yourself and you're consistent in driving for somebody else, driving your life for somebody else, then you aren't creating your best self for you. And I think that's where we get hung up, especially adults, when we get into the real world and start working. And I think even kids, they get so worked into pleasing their parents and pleasing their coaches or pleasing others.
Or sticking with the status quo.
Right. And
High School Musical reference.
But we get so caught up in wanting to please others that we forget about ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think we all need just to step back a second and say, if I don't do something for myself that makes me happy, how am I going to make others happy? You know, and there's so many people pleasers out there that are like, oh, I give because I want others to be happy. But if you're not happy, how are you truly creating happiness for somebody else?
Well, and we used to do the same exact thing, and we had to stop. We had to stop, and we had to learn how to say no. And once we did, things got better. And it's not to say that those things aren't good for you, but it's just what's going to be best for me, and how am I not going to take too much from myself for others. And I mean, you were really bad about that for a long time.
If you don't feel a joy in something and you dread something, then you're not supposed to be doing it.
No.
You know, and I think, you know, I used to work, you know, I used to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning and do my graphics, and because I needed to get something done, or I would sit at my desk for 8 to 10 hours a day and not get up. Well, it wasn't healthy for me. It ruined my legs. It ruined my veins. It ruined, you know, a lot of my health. And one day I was just like, I didn't get to spend time with my family. And finally, I had enough. I was burnt out. Didn't enjoy it anymore, and I wanted time with my family. And so I pretty much said, I'm done. You know, I quit. I just defined when my work hours were. I defined what I would take on and what I wouldn't take on. And I made my family, myself, my priority. And I stayed consistent with that. And lo and behold, my clients went along with it, and they were fine with it. So it was something that it was a hard lesson to learn. And I think it's a hard lesson to learn for any of us, especially if you own your own business, or even if you just volunteer, you know, especially if you volunteer, because you
give a lot.
And sometimes there's not very many volunteers, so you get a lot piled on you.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're the only one that can do it. But if you're not there, someone else automatically somehow shows up and does it.
Someone is going to do it. Someone has to do it. It's going to get done. Or even just, especially with like volunteering and stuff, like because you do get piled on, that's when it's like, okay, I'll take this, but someone has to help me with it. Like, I'm not doing this by myself because I have everything else in my own life.
Yeah, and it's hard because there are sometimes, depending on the organization or depending on what you're volunteering for, there isn't a lot of volunteers. And unless that's your sole job, you only volunteer, this is the only thing you want to be doing, other things take priority over it. And it's hard for some people to understand that.
Yeah.
So, and it's that I want to please others. I want to help so much.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about this a lot, and I have so many people that I've been like friends or surrounded by coworkers or family or whatever, and you know, they have their jobs, they have everything, and they're able to just like take time off, and they're able to just go on vacation and go do all these things all the time, like at least once a month. And I'm like, how the hell can you afford that? I do not understand how you can afford that. And I mean, that alone, or even just be able to take the time off for it. And I know that like I'm young and everything, but at the same time, it's like I have kids my age that go on vacation all the time. And I think it's just finding time. Like, you have to find the time for it. And you have to, you know, sometimes it's like you work hard for, you know, your designated period of time so that you can have that. Yeah. And so, I mean, I get jealous all the time. I'm like, oh, I wish I could have been invited. Like, I want to go. I want to go do this and that. And I want to go just have a weekend and not have to worry about money or time or anything like that, And so it's just, you have to be able to enjoy life too. And I lived
That goes back to consistency too.
Yeah.
Because if you're consistent in saving money, if you're consistent in your time, then it'll be created.
Yeah.
So we get so caught up in the day to day, and if you don't set that time or that money aside, or know that, okay, well this month, every month I want to have so much money set aside for a trip I'm going to take, or if I'm going to get invited, I want to be able to have that, side money. And so, yeah, I think consistency in our lives is an everyday thing. And it's multiple things.
Yeah.
It's not just working out. It's not just health. It's not just anything. It's everything. And the more that we're consistent and the more that we're structured and the more that we are able to just take control and not be chaotic in our lives, the more I think our lives are streamlined and just easier.
Well, and I mean, maybe that's when, if like you're trying to make this change, it's finding the priorities, like if you want to be consistent, okay, prioritize everything that you have going on. What is most important to you? Is most important for you being able to go take road trips or go and take family trips? Is that the most important thing for you? Or is it obligations to your job? Or is it working out? Or is it alone time? I mean, I think prioritizing what really is most important to you will help you be more consistent and feel confident in your consistency too.
Absolutely. I think it's time for us to really, no matter what stage of life you're in, just to figure out really what you want in your life. If you're young and you really want to be an elite athlete, then sit down and prioritize what that looks like for you. Does that mean working out more? Does that mean training more? Does that mean getting a trainer? Does that, what does that mean for you? And then figure out what your biggest priorities for that is.
Yeah.
If you're, older teen or an adult just getting into working and school, what are your priorities? If you're in school, what are your priorities with school? Do you just want to go and play and party if you're in college, or do you really want to, if you're in sports, do you really want to dedicate yourself? What do you want to dedicate yourself to? And I think that's across the board.
Let's just say consistency is what this podcast is about, but I will say dedication is the word of the podcast. Dedicate yourself, find what do you want to be dedicated to. Yeah. We're learning too. We're making some phone calls and trying to get back into it because we're starting to try to get back in our routine again and push, because I know we haven't been as active as usual. But we're even just kind of like, wait, where are we at? What are we supposed to be doing? Wait, weren't we supposed to do something this week? Weren't we supposed to have like a promotion this week or something like that? So, we're trying to find our dedication and our priorities too right now. And so, just fight along with us,
I think it's just reevaluating every so often, where
we reevaluate a lot.
As long as it's not like every day, you're just in chaos. And I don't really care to be in chaos anymore. But, just, every few months, just reevaluate where you're at. And are you still on the right path?
Are you still happy?
Yeah. Keep going after your goals.
Always. Well, thank you everybody so much for watching. Remember our word. Comment below what you're dedicated to and how you stay consistent in your life.
Check out our workbook on our website, Let's Talk PMA, www.setback.com, and you can get your workbooks there. We are still donating 10% of every workbook and journal sold to the Lahaina and Washington wildfire relief funds. So if you would like to help contribute to that, go on our website, letstalkpma.com, and get your workbook or your journal.
Yeah, or even if you just want to make a donation, those donations will go directly to the relief funds. So, all right. Don't forget to like and subscribe below. Comment again what dedication. Oh, sorry. Comment below again what you are dedicated to and how you're staying consistent in your life. We want to hear all about it. Go ahead and check out our Instagram, our Facebook, our TikTok. We're all on there, and we got lots of good things. We'd love to see you on there. So give us a like and a follow. Everything is at Let's Talk PMA, and we will see you all next week.